When it comes to the topic of working with psychologists and psychiatrists, I think anybody who is considering bariatric surgery ought to sit down with somebody and talk about what's going on, to a counselor, a therapist, a psychiatrist, or psychologist, trying to figure out why this happened, why this is so hard for you, why this became necessary. I think it's really good to start that conversation while you're going through this process, and to work on those things that made this necessary. I think that's the key to long-term success with bariatric surgery. Long-term control of this weight problem is to start to critically think about why this happened to me. I think that after bariatric surgery, if you start to find yourself doing things to defeat the operation, to overcome the operation, I think it's good to have somebody that you already know to sit down and talk about, what am I afraid of now, or why is this becoming so difficult for me now? Why am I struggling against this operation? If you find that your spouse, your husband, your wife, your partner is starting to do things to defeat the operation, we call this intimate saboteurs. If you find that they're starting to do things to harm your chances of being successful, you might want to get in together and talk about what's going on. You know, he's bringing me chocolates every day. He never used to bring me chocolates. Now he's bringing me chocolates every day. Or every time I sit down, she puts a plate in front of me. I could hardly get her to cook before. Now, every time I stop moving, she's trying to make me eat. You know, what's going on with that? I tell all the married women that during the first year, they're going to need to tell their husband about once a week in plain, simple man language. Don't be subtle, don't be indirect. Just say, Bob, I'm not leaving and I'm not seeing anybody. The guys will need to hear that about once a week. And I see this happen so often, I warn everybody that this is going to happen. And it just has to do with change. It has to do with human insecurity and change. And I see it happen so often, I warn everybody that it's going to happen. And I tell them, when you get home tonight, tell them that Doc says that during the first year I'm supposed to tell you once a week that I'm not leaving and I'm not seeing anybody. Have you thought about that? Are you worried about that? Is that, you know, because if that's going on, we need to talk about that. There's a lot of changes that happen, and a lot of things that having good support will really help you get through it better, with less struggle and less anxiety and less suffering. And that's what we're here to try to help you do.